Long before we vowed loyalty in ceremonies under churches, mosques, or temples, humans were already loving and betraying. Some evolutionary biologists believe the urge to seek multiple partners predates even language. Loyalty, in that sense, might not be nature's plan, but a human-made compromise. In ancient Mesopotamia, clay tablets spoke of love gods and divine affairs, not marriage contracts. Inanna, the Sumerian goddess of passion, punished and seduced in the same breath. She wasn't loyal, she was powerful. These myths reflected social realities, fluid relationships, sacred prostitution, and sexist devotion. The Code of Ur-Nammu, one of the earliest legal codes, mentions penalties for betrayal, but not for polygamy. In Egypt, pharaohs often married their sisters to keep royal bloodlines pure. What we see as taboo today was once seen as divine continuity. Akhenaten and Nefertiti ruled as lovers, siblings, and gods, their bond more about power than passion. Among the Hittites, the gods had consorts, but they also wandered. The pantheon mirrored human desires, divine but restless. In Greek mythology, Zeus was never faithful. Neither were mortals. The Homeric epics are soaked in tales of unfaithfulness. Helen's elopement sparked a war. Odysseus wandered for years, tempted, enticed, distracted. Fidelity was rare, longing was constant. In Hindu epics, love was no simpler. Draupadi, the heroine of the Mahabharata, was married to 5 brothers. Krishna, the divine lover, had thousands of consorts, but remained spiritually tethered to one. The Kama Sutra didn't glorify fidelity. It explored the mechanics and meaning of desire. In parts of pre-colonial Africa, matrilineal tribes like the Ashanti prioritized female lineage. A woman's children belonged to her clan, not her husband's. Marriage existed, but romantic exclusivity wasn't always the norm. In the Pacific Islands, especially in Polynesia, sexual freedom was integral to ritual and coming of age. In some island cultures, group marriages and shared paternity were part of a communal social fabric, not anomalies. But this isn't just mythology. The structure of our biology whispers the same truths. Just 3 to 5% of mammals are monogamous. Even among birds, often seen as loyal, DNA evidence reveals widespread extra-pair mating. In many species, monogamy is seasonal, not lifelong. Primates, our evolutionary relatives, show a spectrum of mating systems. Bonobos resolve conflict through sex. Chimpanzees maintain promiscuous social orders. Gorillas hoard mates. Orangutans show solitary polygyny. And humans, we evolved in mixed sex bands, likely with cooperative parenting, but not exclusive pair bonding. Sarah Blaffer Hrdy proposed that concealed ovulation in women evolved precisely because it blurred paternity, encouraging males to invest in offspring, even if unsure of their genetic link. This ambiguity paradoxically increased cooperation. It wasn't about hiding, it was about building social nets. Inside our bodies, the evolutionary blueprint lingers. Men produce over 1,000 sperm per second, a volume built not for intimacy, but for competition. Women's sexual interest often peaks around ovulation. Research by Thornhill and Gangestad suggests women prefer more masculine or genetically diverse partners when fertile. Even anatomical details carry hints. Human testicular volume is intermediate, larger than monogamous gibbons, smaller than highly promiscuous chimpanzees, pointing to ancestral mild polygyny. Helen Fisher's model of brain systems explains our inner conflict: lust, testosterone; attraction, dopamine; and attachment, oxytocin, vasopressin. These systems don't synchronize. One can be securely bonded and still crave novelty. Neuroscientific studies show that the ventral tegmental area, the reward center, lights up during early stage attraction. But long-term love shifts activation toward regions linked to habit and comfort. Desire burns fast. Bonding lingers. Esther Perel, studying modern couples, found that affairs often stem not from lack of love, but from a craving for vitality, risk, or a forgotten self. The paradox? We want security and surprise, predictability and passion. Evolution didn't prepare us for marriage. It prepared us for adaptability. Culturally, monogamy arose from needs, inheritance clarity, social stability, child survival. The Roman legal system promoted marriage, but tolerated mistresses. The Abrahamic religions enforced fidelity, often harshly. Yet kings took concubines. Saints confessed to impure thoughts. In medieval Europe, courtly love emerged, passionate, poetic, and extramarital. Dante adored Beatrice. Petrarch longed for Laura. These were not wives, but muses. Love in culture exceeded law. Meanwhile, in Zoroastrian Persia, some texts endorsed next-of-kin marriages as spiritual duty. In China's ancient courts, emperors kept vast harems, not just for pleasure, but to display cosmic authority. Desire was ritualized. Fast forward to today. The myth of one true soulmate and the devastation when reality disrupts it. From political scandals to Hollywood splits, society condemns infidelity and yet consumes it. Kanye and Kim, Meghan and Harry, Prince Charles and Diana. Each story retold endlessly, dissected obsessively. We're not just moral creatures. We're fascinated creatures. Psychological profiles matter. Attachment theory shows that avoidant individuals fear intimacy. Anxious types seek reassurance. Both may struggle with loyalty. Studies by Glass and Wright and later Lee and Agnew found that relationship dissatisfaction, emotional or sexual, often precedes betrayal. Add to this narcissistic traits, novelty-seeking behavior, and lack of impulse control. And the picture sharpens. Loyalty in psychology is not fixed. It's developmental, molded by early care, trauma, culture, and even genetics. And yet, some cultures challenge the paradigm. Among the Mosuo of China, walking marriages allow women to choose multiple partners without cohabitation. Among some Amazonian tribes, partible paternity assumes that multiple men contribute to a child's essence. These aren't curiosities. They're functioning societies. Even in the West, polyamory is rising, not as rebellion, but as reconfiguration. Studies by Conley et al. Show that consensual non-monogamists report similar satisfaction levels to monogamous couples when trust and communication exist. So where does that leave us? We are shaped by evolution, and yet capable of transcendence. Our brains are wired for conflict, but also for cooperation. Monogamy may not be natural, but neither is language. Both require choice. Perhaps loyalty is not the denial of desire, but the discipline of desire. Fidelity, then, becomes less about nature and more about values, less about instinct, more about meaning. We're not here to decide what's right, but to understand what's real. If you found value here, consider staying with us. Subscribe, share it with a mind as curious as yours. And let's keep digging into the stories buried beneath our instincts.